What is up, everybody, and welcome to the show. That is right, the boys are back in town. My name is Jamie, and I'll be your captain on this cruise of video game awesomeness. And you all know my co-host, the Luigi to my Mario, the Dom to my Marcus, the Abu to my Aladdin, Mr. Josh Brant.
Guess who's back? Back again. Brandon's back. Tell a friend.
See, I went with Abu because of the beard.
Abu. It's pretty epic, man. It's grown extra long since we last recorded. I should be like a hobo by now.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long. just so you guys know, we are not dead. This is episode 82 of the Life of Gaming podcast, and our last show was back in July, so it was like right around E3 season. We hope you guys are still subscribed and stuck around waiting, because we have had people so many people ask us, when are you coming back, and we just felt now things have kind of settled down, so now's the time to come back, start poking the
when the hate is overflowing in video gamedom, we come back with positivity in your face.
That's right, in your face. Well, Let's just kick things off, Brant, because it's been so long. Let's talk about what we've been playing, because this show, as you know, is all about gaming, man. So I'm going to let you kick it off. What's going on in the world of Nintendo, world of PlayStation? I mean, just so much.
How do I even categorize this since we've been off for like 4 months, man? I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start out with the most recent. Switch just got LA Noire.
Ooh.
And I was fortunate enough to be able to play that, and let me tell you, it's just as good as when I played on the PS3. And
cool.
That's not a lie. Yeah, it works really well. I'm actually surprised they actually added some cool touchscreen gimmicks to it and all that. Yeah, it looks beautiful. The facial animation's better than I even remember it.
Awesome.
I haven't played on the TV. I've just been playing handheld, but it surprisingly works well.
So have you seen any glitches or anything? Because I know Joey, our good friend Joey Ferris, I'm trying to remember where he writes. He doesn't write for Nerd Reactor anymore. Where is he? I can't remember where he's writing right now. Joey.
Commonwealth Realm is where he does video stuff, and then he does Nuke the Fridge, I think it's called.
Oh, that's right, Nuke the Fridge. Thank you for thank you.
Writes reviews.
See, Joey, Brant's got your back, man. But he actually posted some photos on Facebook of LA Noire where people are stuck in the T pose and just standing.
It looks like
that.
Some type of cold or something. They're just holding their praise the sun.
It's always back to Dark Souls with you, man.
I know, it is. But yeah, that's been great. I'm not too far into it because I just got it recently. I do want to point out one game that I've been playing. It's a PS Vita game.
Oh wow!
It's just on PS Vita and PC. I think it came out earlier in the year on PC or the year before. It's called Valhalla, but it's spelled VA-11 Hall-A.
Wow.
So it's Valhalla, but it's okay. It's a cyberpunk bartending sim-like game.
Okay.
Visual novel.
Is it like Root Beer Tapper, where you're just getting the root beer and then slide it down the tables?
That would be awesome. But no, it's sort of more it reminds me of Papers, Please. I don't know if you've ever.
See, I've always wanted to play that, and I think I bought it on Steam on the sale. I think. My Steam library is so big, and I never touch it.
That's one game that needs to come back to the PS Vita. But yes, it because it has the screen on the side where you're talking to people, and then you make the drinks on the upper right side. So you're using one thumbstick, and they actually, the people tell you what they want, and they can give you the name of the drink. There's 30 drinks to choose from, or they can just say, "I want something sweet and aromatic," or something like that, and you have to try to guess what type of drink you're going to make for the person. The charm of it is in the actual characterizations and story, because it gets really deep into issues like you're talking to somebody as a bartender, you help people out in that way. So it's pretty neat, actually. I'm surprised about how good it is.
That's cool, man. I can't believe games still come to the Vita, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, and it isn't even coming out for anything else except for the PC. So hey, I'm all for that. I'll just put out a few shout outs. Of course, Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, yes.
I beat the game, and then I beat the final part of that game. Okay. I don't know if you've done that yet.
I've completed the game, I just haven't played any of the post game.
It's ridiculously hard. Like I won't spoil anything because we'll have a spoiler cast for all that. But yeah, it throws everything at you throughout this whole thing. You only have like the 6 hearts to get through the entire area. But I finally did that tonight.
Cool.
Which I'm very proud about.
So it's like, is that like the second end game, or is this just like an extra?
Yeah, it's like the second end game.
Okay.
It's like the final absolute thing you can do, and then you can always go back to get the other.
There's what, 999 moons, I think.
Yeah, I'm up to 504.
Wow, man, you totally surpassed me by a lot.
I'm confused though. Maybe you can answer this for me. You can purchase moons at shops after you beat the game, like an unlimited number. It seems like. Can you just buy?
Actually, if you want to get all 999 moons, some of those moons you have to buy. Like to get the 999, you have to buy them.
Okay.
And to my understanding, each shop only has so many.
Okay, I was hoping I wasn't just spending money just to get up to 900.
Yeah, if you want to get to 900, you can't buy all 900. You actually have to find them, but you have to buy a certain number, because I guess they assume you're just gonna have enough coins to do it.
Yeah, because I had over like 6,000 coins, and I just spent all of it on these moons so I could get up to 500. But yeah, and like I said, we'll get into Game of the Year talk later. I'm sure that'll be up all high on the many people's list. Let me see, just going down here, what else? SteamWorld Dig 2, I want to shout out to that.
Awesome.
I beat that. Yeah, that's a really awesome game for the Switch, or anything else you can play it for. It's just as good as SteamWorld Dig, the original. I highly recommend that. I want to shout out to Ease 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. It's an RPG that came out for PS4 and PS Vita.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
Vita
neat.
Love, man.
Hey, I love my Vita, but I love my Switch more now, as you know.
Yes, I do.
But this came out by NIS America. It's great. Yeah, I actually had the chance to review that, so
cool.
Have to give it love there. Sonic, I don't think we talked about Sonic Mania, have we?
No, we haven't. I think because that came out in July, right?
Yeah, actually,
it came out like right after
recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably. Oh man, I'd have it up there on my Game of the Year list.
Sonic Mania, I love it. It's really good, but I never finished it. It's one of those things where I played it, really enjoyed it, and haven't gone back to it. So
yeah, you get like the feel for it. You're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this.
It's great.
Like, it's old school Sonic to the T, even with neat new stuff.
Yeah. What I loved about Sonic Mania is how, like, was it 3 stages per world? And like the first one was always like a remake of that original stage from that zone. And then like the second one was more of like a new stage. And I just loved how they blended that together.
Yeah, then they always had the boss at the end, which there's some really cool boss designs in that. Like, it's much better than the original Sonics even. So that's been great. Golf Story. Oh yeah. I want to give a shout out to that. Yeah, I don't know if you played this for the Switch.
I haven't, yeah.
It's worth picking up. It's cute. It's like obviously RPG with golf mechanics, like you're playing Mario Golf with RPG mechanics. So it's
is it a sunny
got
day?
A charm.
it's a sunny day. Mario Golf
64.
Love it. Yeah. So
64 with their generic characters. But yeah, there's just been so much more. I can't get to it all, but yeah, that's a little bit of what I've been playing. So,
dude, it's
take it away.
It's been crazy, man, because I totally forgot about Sonic Mania until you mentioned it. I'm like, that is such a good game. I have to get back to that. It's so good. But as you know, Brant, the big one for me, and I spent so much time in it, Cuphead.
Oh,
Cuphead was... Now, we're not talking about Game of the Year or anything like that, but just know it is very high on my list.
Yeah.
This game, it's like, it was custom made for me. I love the animation. People complain about the difficulty. I love the difficulty. Just for our listeners that don't know, I've been working on trying to 100% complete the game, achievement-wise. And what happens, you beat the game, you get 100%, right? But that unlocks expert mode. So now I'm going back through the expert mode, and when you go to my save file, now it's like working toward 200%. I'm at 195% right now. All I have left to get to 100, to 200% the game and get the trophies. I've got 2 trophies left. I need to beat King Dice on Expert, which is insane because, those of you that don't know, insane. King Dice is like a gauntlet. There are 9 bosses, like mini bosses you have to beat before you can get to him. And the problem is if you only have like 1 hit point left by the time you get to him, you're pretty much done. Like especially on Expert, it's way too difficult.
Yeah.
But I have to beat him on Expert, and then I also need to beat him without getting hit. So to do that, I can go down to like an easier difficulty and play it, but I figure I'm going to knock out the Expert part first and then go back later. Because what I found out, part of the trophies are, beat all the bosses on Expert, obviously, but get A's on all the bosses for every boss in the game. And the easiest way for me to do that was I'd go and I would beat them on Expert, right? Because, beat them on Expert, it's a lot harder. Patterns are a lot harder. The bosses are a lot faster, more health, all that. I'd beat them on Expert. And then immediately after, because I spent so much time on the boss trying to learn the patterns on Expert, I would knock it down to regular mode. And then on regular mode, I could like almost easily get an S, like a perfect score each time. Because the patterns are the same, but like they're slower and like like I just kind of started knocking it all out. Because originally I'm like, this game is way too hard for me to get 100%. But now I'm like slowly chipping away at it, and
you might get it.
I'm trying. I'm in love with that game. The music is awesome. The animation, if you don't know, it's like 1930s animation, so good. And like the combat, it's just, I love it. It is
That's one game that I would buy an Xbox for. Oh. Like I think it justify the purchase of an Xbox.
Actually, speaking of Xbox, one thing I didn't mention, I upgraded the Xbox One X. Now it doesn't really enhance Cuphead at all. Actually, the one thing it does for Cuphead, it knocks the load times way down. Because one thing that drove me crazy with Cuphead is that the load times are pretty long, like in between the worlds and the bosses. Now, if you die in a boss, it's like instant. You're back in the game, no problem. But if you leave a boss to go to the world, or from a world to a boss, the load times are extremely long. But with the X, they're really fast. Like I was surprised. Like I'd be sitting there, look up, like, oh my gosh, it's loaded already, just because the load times are so much faster. And the X, for those that want to know how it is, I absolutely love my X because I've got a 4K TV, and it shows on certain games. Like not every game is enhanced, obviously. The ones that aren't, load times are awesome. But the thing that really stands out on the X is frame rate, because frame rates are locked. Some of them you can go higher frame rates than 30, which look awesome, and then of course the higher texture packs. Because I'm playing through Evil Within 2 now, and that game on the X looks gorgeous. Like I'll just be standing there looking at the side of a house because like the detail, like just the crumbling side of the house, I'm like, it just looks so pretty, and you just stand there.
Decapitated body over there. The detail
looks so good. But I'm not that far into it. I think I'm on chapter 3 or 4, so I'm like maybe a quarter of the way through it. I love it. It is so good because like I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
But the first game felt like just a hodgepodge of all these other horror games kind of mixed together to kind of make something work. And it had that weird grainy filter on it and stuff. Because recently I tried to go back and play through it again just because, 2 was coming out.
Yeah.
And since it had been so long since I played the first one, playing it again, I noticed a lot more of its flaws. And with 2, it's like it fixed all those problems, and it's kind of found its voice as a horror game. Like it kind of, this in Evil Within 2 sort of found its footing and made itself its own, and it's really good. I like it a lot.
It seems like it opens up a lot more. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot more wide open spaces to experiment around or whatever. Yeah, from what I watched.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. And they added, like most games now, they added a crafting system. So there are like these houses off to the sides, right, which you don't really have to explore. I mean, it doesn't change the story at all. But if you do, I mean, sure, there's zombies and stuff hiding in these houses, but you can kind of creep around, sneak around, dig through drawers, through stuff on the floor, and you get parts. So with the parts, you can build ammo, you can build weapon upgrades, you can, all that stuff. It's the crafting system. It's good. And the great thing about the crafting system, you can either find a workbench and craft it, or certain items you can craft like while you're out on the field, but it just uses more resources that way. So you kind of have like a
Interesting.
yeah. So
Give or take.
if you're not near a workbench, you can still craft stuff. It just costs a little bit more. But it's really good, dude. I'm telling you, if there's a Black Friday sale on this one,
there is.
Pick it up.
It's more than half price already.
I think it's what $30, right?
The lowest is 25.
Awesome.
At Best Buy and GameStop.
Worth it. 100%. Pick it up.
Same with Wolfenstein 2, which is another one.
Wolfenstein 2. My wife's gonna get me for Christmas. You know, like I said, $25. I'm looking forward to that one. That's what I've been wanting to play for a while, but I had too much on my plate.
I was gonna wait until the Switch, but I don't think I can. I don't know how far that is away.
And dude, actually, you talking about LA Noire, I totally forgot about that because I was planning on getting on my Xbox One X because I knew they have like a bunch of 4K updates and stuff. So we'll see. But I mean, that's the main stuff I've been playing recently was just Cuphead and Evil Within 2. So it's been fun. Like I haven't had a lot of game time recently with a whole bunch of job stuff going on, but now I kind of got a new job. Things are kind of, like I said, leveling out. I have a little more free time
Settling
again.
down.
So it's been nice. But that's what I've been up to, man. It's been, and outside of that, watching Stranger Things season 2. Did you finish that yet?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, we just finished it last night. No spoilers for that one, but it was good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. You liked it better than the first one?
Yes and no.
I'm the same way.
Because there were parts about it I really liked. The one thing I didn't like, and this isn't really, well, if you want zero spoilers for Stranger Things, tune out for like 10 seconds. I don't like how this season everybody was split up.
That's
like
true.
in the first season, they were all like this gang. They went together. They were a team. And then season 2, everybody's off on their own story.
That's
which
right.
is fine.
There's too many character arcs to follow. Plus the weird episode 7 but I didn't mind that at all. I thought that was sort of I actually enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason people didn't like episode 7 was because episode 6 left on a big cliffhanger. And instead of jumping right into that cliffhanger, they did this little side story. So it kind of threw everything off.
Completely off.
But it was good. It was good. No, okay. So not a Stranger Things podcast, but if you haven't watched Stranger Things,
talk about entertainment. Yeah,
watch it.
Punisher comes out tomorrow.
Oh man, so many good things. It's just amazing.
This has been the year of giving.
That's
honestly.
Right.
Other than those dang microtransactions.
Oh man, it's been absolutely crazy. Actually, we're gonna start kicking it off and talking about the news because so much has happened in the world of gaming, right? Because right now, this podcast, Brant and I just decided to hop on tonight, so it's going to be a little by the seat of our pants, right? We're just going to kind of strap in tight and go for it because originally,
up your pants.
Originally, to kind of give you a peek behind the curtain, the plan was to do like a Super Mario Odyssey spoiler cast, but right before we hopped on, some pretty big news happened, which we're going to get into in a little bit, and that kind of changed our topic of the week this week. So right now, one thing, actually, which I'm super excited about, is Xbox One X Overwatch is going to get a 4K update. So I'm super hyped about that. Now, Brant, I know you're on a mission to find a 4K TV, like a cheaper one.
Oh, I didn't say this at the beginning because so much has gone on, but I updated to a PS4 Pro.
Oh, awesome.
Actually, because my PS4 disc drive broke, and I have a ton of physical games. The big releases I have physical, so I'm like, okay, I have to upgrade this as soon as possible. So luckily, I had a problem. Yeah, I was able to get a deal on a PS4 Pro. Mm-hmm. So I'm 4K-ified for when I get an actual 4K TV. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to save up for one yet, but
just chop off some limbs.
They're around like 400 with HDR.
Oh yeah.
So that's one thing you have to make sure it has certain specifications because they're selling some 4K TVs for like $200, like 55 inches, but that's a scam.
Well, I was gonna say, what you need to make sure you do, make sure it's got a decent refresh rate, because that was the most important thing, because that's gonna affect what you do on with the controller to what happens on screen. Like the delay between that is huge. Because our old TV, it was a 3D TV. It was a Vizio. I can't remember what it was called. But even on game mode, I always had this really slight delay. And it's something you get used to over time. You don't really notice it. But then when we got our 4K TV last Black Friday, we got a 50-inch Samsung, I forget what it's called. But there's literally like zero delay in it at all. There's no latency. Awesome. And it's so good because I didn't realize how big of a problem it was until we got the new TV. And like, it's crazy. It's so much better. And one thing you need to watch out for, we got our TV and it has what's called HDR8, right? Mm-hmm. And what you want is HDR10. The reason ours was cheaper was HDR8. And what that means, it still has HDR, but the color spectrum isn't as broad. So certain colors pop, but not all of the colors pop.
Okay.
So be careful when you're looking out. Look out. Now, our TV still looks great. I mean, it still looks really nice. But from what I've heard, you should look for HDR10.
HDR10. Okay. I'm making like this checklist of stuff that I need to keep track of. So I'm going to actually put that down now because they say PS. There's like P series or S series. I don't even know what this means, but make sure that you get like a P series one or whatever. So.
Dude, we could do a whole podcast on 4K TVs. If you guys are listening and want to help Brant find a good 4K TV, hit us up on Facebook. And I haven't even said this yet. Life of Gaming. You also hit us up on Twitter at Life of Gaming Pod. Now that channel's been a little quiet for a few months, but we're going to get that active again here. We always try to respond to people. Any kind of comments we're getting, we still respond to them. We just haven't been very active on posting to it lately. But yeah, make sure to hit up Brant on our Facebook or Twitter and say, dude, here's the set you need to get. Because since I already have one, I haven't really researched them in a while. So
yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
But okay, let's hop back into the news. Overwatch, like I said, is getting a 4K update on the X. They haven't said anything about the Pro yet. And actually, since our last show, I don't know if I mentioned, I also have a PS4 Pro now. So I've got an Xbox One X, a PS4 Pro, and Nintendo Switch.
Welcome to the team.
I know, man.
High five.
That's right. High five.
Yes.
But so Overwatch is getting a 4K update, which is awesome. It's going to look great. But also a brand new character, which is now available. Moira.
I forgot about that.
Have you heard about Moira yet?
She's a support class.
Which is awesome because I feel like they needed more healing characters because everybody went to, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Angel.
You're thinking the Angel.
Mercy, thank you. Oh my gosh. See, that's the problem. I've been playing so much Cuphead and Evil Within, I haven't touched Overwatch in months, which is not good.
Yeah, I just got back to it recently.
But dude, it's still so good. I love Overwatch so much. But everyone went to Mercy. I mean, sure, there's other healing classes, but that's like normally the go-to because you can just sort of shoot out your healing beam, right? Which obviously they've changed recently, which we won't get into all that because that would just be way too long of a conversation.
Right.
But Moira is a brand new healing class. Now, Brant, I don't know how much you know about her, but the way her moveset,
awesome.
The way it's going to be. I'm super looking forward to play as her because I didn't realize she was out, but she's out now. So turn your PC, PS4, Xbox, whatever. Moira's going to be there. But the way her healing works is not constant. So with Mercy, she can just fire it out, constant healing. The way that Moira works is when she uses her healing, like a little meter goes down, right? She only can heal for so long. But you raise it back up by attacking. So you have to have a good balance of attacking people and healing people. Because they said the cooldown for healing is actually pretty slow. But one nice thing about Moira, when she heals, even after she stops healing, it kind of puts like a healing cloud on whoever you're healing, and they continue to heal even after you stop healing them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to hopping.
Yeah, she looks really cool. Like, totally unique. I love how every character is just so unique in that game. It works out perfectly well.
And that game's... Has it been a year and a half, I think? Or 2 years? How long has the game been out?
Well, it came out last year. Somewhere in the middle. And like I said, that was my game of the year last year. To our good friend Chris's chagrin. But...
Oh, dude, so good.
I still stand by that. That was like my most played game I played in years, literally.
And dude, it's so funny because I didn't realize how good it was either until I hopped in and got it cheap. And I think when I got it, it was like $30. And actually, because of the Black Friday sale, I'm assuming it's on PlayStation 2, Overwatch Game of the Year Edition, $30. So Brant, maybe that means I'll have to rebuy Overwatch on PS4 so we can play it together, because I've been playing a lot with Chris and actually a lot more by myself on Xbox. Yeah.
That'd be great, man.
So
I'm all for it.
It's been a while, and I don't know how much the controls really, change it for me, because you used to the Xbox controller. The reason I go Xbox most of the time is because I just like the controller more.
Sure.
But I think it should be fun. I'd love to hop in because we haven't played any Overwatch together. We don't know what our skills are.
Right. I'm curious. You're like the Tracer master or something.
I try. I mean, dude, Tracer is by far my best character. For me, actually, let me ask you real quick, because we haven't really talked about this in a while. I go Tracer, and I go, oh my gosh, I can't, Farrah, the one with the rockets. And then
she's cool.
Every once in a while, I'm feeling it, I'll go for Doomfist.
You're an offensive mastermind.
Yeah, but I mean, who do you normally use? You're like defensive, right?
I love Zenyatta, his Zen awesomeness.
Wait. Is he Mr. Floaty Balls?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's my favorite. I love him. Dude, he's a freaking monk with floating balls that can attack and heal people. I mean, what's not to love about this guy?
Absolutely.
I love Reinhardt. Give me that pay. Find the load, man. I just push ahead with my shield,
Do you watch the Overwatch shorts at all? Those little short movies?
Yeah, they had a new one.
Did you see the Reinhardt one?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good. Now, it wasn't as good as Maze. Maze was just awesome. Did you see that one?
Dude, they're like Pixar quality.
I know. Dude, honestly, I'm seriously just waiting for a movie. Like, why not? Or like an animated series by Netflix, or who knows what they do. But like, they're so good.
Easy money.
I know. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So good.
Actually, Eli, he plays more than I do. He's better than me at it now, if you can believe that. With the guy that die. What is that guy's name?
The Reaper, right?
Yeah.
Is it Reaper?
Reaper, yeah, it's Reaper. Yep, he mows people down with him. Even with the ninja guy.
Genji.
Genji.
Dude, I love Genji.
He's like throwing stars and like jumping around, kidding people, like perfect aim. I'm just like, how'd you do you just play this all day when I'm gone?
Dude, that's
Does mom just let you play?
Dude, you know what would be funny, man? How about instead of me playing you, I should play Eli?
Yeah, you should. Dude, he wiped the floor with both of us.
You would have been hilarious though if you would have kept the old PS4 in the PS4 Pro and let him play on the PS4 and you play on the PS4 Pro and I play on my PS4 Pro and have like a super team.
That would be, dude. That would have been a good. If I bought my two TV, have it side by side,
dude,
so
Eli.
Be
awesome.
Oh man, I should have thought about that.
Now, one interesting thing you brought up, Mr. Brant, which is actually a really good segue for me. Yeah. You said Game of the Year for Overwatch.
Yeah.
And actually, the Game Awards just announced their nominees. So real quick, I'm going to, because while you were talking about Overwatch, I was pulling it up on my phone. Because you put out the list. But here are the nominations for Game of the Year for the Game Awards. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Super Mario Odyssey. Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, and PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
What?
Now, there's a couple things. I mean, we could have a whole topic of the week just about these nominations. Yeah. But first of all, the big question that's lingering on everyone's minds, just kind of like gnawing at them. Does PlayerUnknown Battleground, a game that's still in its beta phase, it's still in early access. It is technically not a complete game. It does not have version 1.0 yet. Does it deserve to be on a list for Game of the Year?
Well, let's see. This came up last year when Overwatch was brought up. But the argument is Overwatch was a complete game when it's...
Right.
Yeah. $60 complete game, version 1.0. Yes, it's just multiplayer only. But it controlled so well, played so well that it was a revolutionary. Now you take PUBG and it's breaking records left and right, and I think that's the main reason why it's up there. But like you said, it's just in early access. It's not actually out yet. I think it comes out is like 1.0 at December
12th, I think.
Okay, why can't it be? Because they have games that go from the year before over to this over to the next year. So why can't it be up then? When it's actually
right. And people are asking Jeff Keighley that because they said there's always been a rule that it like betas and early access can't get on the list. And while yes, it will be out, it'll be in full game in December when the official 1.0 launches when it comes to Xbox PC. That's when the official 1.0 is going to be out. But it's the week after, maybe it's days after. I think it might be days after the Game Awards. Right. So it's like it's missing the window, but it's still there.
And there's so many other good games you could put there, like Cuphead.
Honestly. I think Cuphead should be on the list. I think PUBG, for me personally, I think PUBG should be taken off. The listeners are probably yelling at us right now. That's another. PUBG should be taken off and Cuphead should be put on.
Yeah, that's another one I didn't hit on. Hellblade. That's probably my game.
Senua's Sacrifice, right? And that was called.
It's amazing.
I still need to put that game brand new is like $30, right? Like that's.
Yes, I played through it. I'm going to play through it again when I get a 4K TV because
They say that game is gorgeous. Yeah.
It's absolutely stunning, even in my 1080p. So, and then the sound design. That's my game of the year, actually.
Cool. I have to play that because
Breath of the Wild was, but.
Now I will say, when you get your 4K TV, you got your PS4 Pro now.
Right.
Anytime you turn on a game, again, right? any game that you put in that has enhanced, it's going to ask you, do you want the frame rate higher or do you want the graphics better? Because what it does either ups the graphics to a higher texture and keeps it 30 frames, or you can up it to 60. Like a lot of the games do that. And me personally, I always up the frame rate every time.
Yeah, that's what most people
the frame rate, the difference between 30 and 60, you won't think you'd notice, but like Evil Within 2, I started playing it before I got my X, right?
Yeah.
And then, but I wasn't that far into it. It was like a chapter or two into it. Then I got my X, and it raised the textures, it unlocked that 30-second frame rate, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it just looks and plays, like it's so smooth, like it's crazy how much better it is.
Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin actually came out 60 frames per second.
Oh, wow.
Now, I noticed a big difference, just how smooth it is. Like, it was amazing to me. It was like playing a new game again. So I understand what you're saying.
So that's one. I totally forgot about Senua's Sacrifice. I'm going to have to pick that up. I bet if it's on sale, for sure, I'm going to grab it.
It's already cheap, man.
Yeah, it's $30. $40?
Well,
that's one.
Yeah, it is $40.
Because I totally forgot about that. Because it's only like 5 or 6 hours, right? It's pretty short.
Yeah, it's pretty short, but I think it's the perfect length, like to get involved, but yet it's not going to overstay its welcome.
Okay.
And it's really easy to platinum too.
That's
easy
one
to find the secrets.
I've been wanting to play for a while.
Combat is great to me. People say it's not it's not perfect, but who cares? You're there for the story and environment.
Right. So that's one I'll definitely pick up. I don't know when, but because that's the problem. I play so much on my Xbox now that outside of like the occasional exclusive, I don't turn my PS4 on that much. I'll turn it on each month to download the free games. But I keep forgetting because there's so many awesome exclusives I haven't played yet.
You haven't played Uncharted?
Oh, I did. I played Uncharted. Well, I didn't finish it. Okay. I got about halfway through Uncharted 4. Before all the whole job stuff started happening, I set it aside. So I still have to finish Uncharted 4.
Infamous, I don't know if you...
I did. I played through Infamous. I did play through Infamous. That's one... It's so funny. Brittany bought that one for me. And then like a month or two later, it became free. I'm like,
yeah.
So it's good. It's not as good as the older Infamous games, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's still pretty awesome.
But okay, the other question I've got for you.
Yeah.
Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. Are they going to knock each other out? Are they going to split that Nintendo vote? Because that's another thing people are talking about. Because people are like, oh, Mario's going to win. Oh, Zelda's going to win. But if they split their own vote, and then neither of them win. I mean, could Nintendo cost themselves Game of the Year?
They both deserve to be up there, so I can't really complain about that. But I will say that I think Super Mario Odyssey is special. It's a special type of game, but I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is just on another level of just changing this formula completely. Like, when it first came out, it was unlike anything we've ever played in open world games. And people can say, the combat's sort of generic, whatever. It's totally unique, and I still think that should win Game of the Year.
Right.
Since I think most publications, I think, will name it Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope, because I think Mario, the name alone, people say, hey, this is the most iconic person in video games, so he should probably get it. But I mean, they're both so great, it's hard to pick. But Breath of the Wild, man.
Dude, Nintendo has had a killer first year.
They're killing it.
Because they had what many consider the best Zelda game of all time. They have what many consider the best Mario game of all time. They had a brand new Splatoon. Yeah. They got Mario Kart for anybody that missed that. Plus, they have all these indie games like SteamWorld Dig 2, exclusive indie games.
They're getting third-party support.
It's crazy.
Wazoo.
It's crazy. Yeah. No, I will say personally, I'm still buying it. A lot of it has to do because I like that 4K. I like that, the higher power. So I'm still buying a lot on my Xbox. And my Switch is still mainly for exclusive stuff. But those, like our friend Jacob Rush, right, over Nintendo Nostalgia. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to check out that podcast. If you love Nintendo, it's awesome. But he only owns Nintendo consoles. He doesn't buy anything else, right? So he's never played Skyrim. He's never played Doom. He's like L.A. Noire. These amazing games. He's never played them. And there's probably a lot of people out there that haven't either. Like this is the first year of this system. It's insane.
Yeah. I know. It just came out in freaking March.
Yeah, I know, dude. It feels like it's been out longer because there's so many games for it.
It does.
But I will say,
it's the system that keeps giving.
Next year, Kirby, Yoshi, and Samus. Those are going to be like the big ones next year, right? If Metroid comes out next year, like they say it will. But, I mean, that's crazy. Because the first year, you get Mario, and you get Zelda, and you get Splatoon. The second year, you get Kirby and Yoshi and Metroid. It's like, what? This is like insane.
They're nailing it.
It's
after
crazy.
Years of mediocrity, they're actually coming through.
And then in 2019, if we're lucky, maybe we'll get a good Star Fox, because Star Fox Zero is not that great. Yeah. I mean, another Donkey Kong, like it's gonna be awesome.
I also then say with the Super Nintendo Classic, I was able to snag one of those.
By the way, they say Walmart within the next week or so is supposed to get more shipments. So if you want them for Christmas, might be able to grab one.
Dude, it's great, man. I'm playing through all these classic games with Eli, showing him
That's
Super
awesome,
Mario World
That's
just
really
as
awesome.
it is. Yeah,
because he has no idea what it is, and it's so good.
Yeah, and I would love to come over to your house, play it. We played through together. Oh, yeah. Now I'm playing through with him and Donkey Kong and
dude, that's so
all
awesome.
This stuff.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Now I guess just to cap off our Game of the Year discussion, just in my opinion, I have a feeling Horizon Zero Dawn is going to win. Just because I think Nintendo is going to split the vote with their two games, and I think PUBG is causing like enough, not the best word, but like controversy because it's not a finished game. So I think that of all the games, and Persona is more of a niche title, right?
Horizon's going to pull a Trump, come out of nowhere, take it.
I do think that Horizon's going to win for those reasons. That's just me.
The general consensus is no, PUBG should not be up there,
right?
From us,
right?
Yeah,
so, but that's okay. But okay,
yeah.
With that, we do want to say, for my 2 cents, if you haven't checked it out, check out Xbox, check out PlayStation, because they're starting their Black Friday specials early. Like myself, I'm going to be picking up. You can get Wolfenstein 2 with the season pass. So all that together for $39.99. And it just came out last month. That is insane. And you can get Disney Afternoon Collection, $8. Great game.
That's
you have
awesome.
like Chip and Dale and like all the, Darkwing Duck and Tailspin and all that. $8. And DuckTales, and like it's just the deals they have on there. Evil Within 2, $30. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, which I know your kids love. You can get the deluxe edition. I think it's like $8 or $9. Like, it's so incredibly cheap. It's
Man,
crazy.
Xbox is killing it with deals, man.
It's going to be... I started reading down the list, and like Gears of War, which I already have, I think Gears of War 4, which if you got an X, or if you're getting an X for Christmas, I think it's also $40 with like the deluxe.
That's the
stuff.
one game you should probably have for an Xbox.
And Forza Horizon 3, which is fantastic, by the way. Now, it doesn't come with the Hot Wheels DLC. I kind of wish it did, but I think that's like $30. It's insane. And Brant, do you know of any of the deals going on with PlayStation?
They have not come out with their Black Friday deals yet, but I'm imagining that's going to happen tomorrow on Friday.
Okay.
Because they usually have flash sales come up then, so I would imagine it'd be then. Unless it's next week when Tuesday rolls around.
Oh, sure.
But I'm imagining it'll probably be the same type of deals, you know?
Because most of the time, especially third parties, they try to make the same on both systems.
Right. Like I said, if I can't snag one of those games at GameStop or Best Buy, I'll just pick it up over the PSN because I think Evil Within 2 and Wolf 2 will be like $30 through those.
And I know there's a lot of downloadable games too, because for some reason, every time there's a big sale, Telltale does that thing where they package like all their games together for like incredibly cheap. Life is Strange is like $5. Little Nightmares is like $5 or $6. Little Nightmares, for the longest time, was my favorite game of the year. Now, I've played a lot of stuff since then, obviously. Oh, by the way, Little Nightmares, when I got it, it was on sale. It came with the season pass. They just released the second episode. They have 3 season pass episodes. The second one just came out this week. So I totally forgot until I turned my Xbox on and saw it download, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to hop back into that. That game, if you have not played Little Nightmares, it's so good. Because it's a horror game, but it's not really that scary. The platform is great. You know, it's just, I absolutely love that. I tried to 100%.
I find those things disturbing, man.
So good. Dude. And that game, the only reason I haven't 100%ed it, there's one trophy. It's like beating the game in under an hour without getting hit. Like, it's just like you have to have that game memorized, or without dying. Sorry, not getting hit. Without dying. And you pretty much have to have that game memorized to do that. And I just haven't taken the time to do it. Because if I really love a game, I want 100% it, just like with Cuphead, like Little Nightmares. So, should be good.
Plus, PlayStation is you can start earning points towards earning trophies.
Oh, that's right. Trophies can earn you money now.
It's ridiculous. It's like anything from the past you can't put to this program, but it's like so minuscule what you get anyway. Like everybody was excited, and you look at it, you're like, yeah. I mean, it's something to sign up for, but you don't really get that many points. It takes a ton of trophies just to be able to get $10.
Yeah, because they were saying, like, someone did the math. They said if you buy like this many $60 games, you get like, if you got all the trophies and all those games, you get like $5 or something. Like, it's just it's still actually really cool because
I mean, it is.
One thing I do like about Xbox, people think it's really stupid. Bing, right? Nobody uses Bing. But if you use Bing, if you use Bing as your search engine, you get points, right? And as you get points, you get Xbox money. Like right now, I almost have enough points to get $10 free Xbox money.
Just by surfing Bing,
just by surfing points. Bing. Because every day, every day you can get like 100 points for searches on your computer, 150 points for searching on your phone, and then you have like these little quizzes you can do, like just dumb quizzes. And because the quizzes make you search through Bing, right? And so you can just casually get points. And I've got like 6,000 or 7,000 points, and at 9 you get $10 of Xbox money, and it's really nice because actually recently this totally brings up another story out of nowhere. Like I said, we're flying by the seat of our pants tonight. Hopefully you enjoy the show.
So much to talk about.
Recently I got a message from Xbox on my Xbox, and it said, enjoy Black Friday, happy holidays, here's $5. And just randomly just put $5 in my account. And I'm like, that's really cool. And so now I've got like another $10 coming for free. So I'm like technically going to have like $15 of free money, which is just awesome.
Yeah. And can you sell back digital games through Xbox?
You can. The only way you could do it is like there's a certain amount of time or progress. There's like a certain like point you can't pass.
Really?
Yeah, so if like let's say you don't play it at all, you can sell it back. Or if you only play it for a couple minutes, don't like it, you can sell it back. As long as you don't pass like a certain point, you can get a full refund on it. Man, and they also
I just want to be able to sell give it a physical game back, like for a discount or something.
Sure.
I was hoping that they would do something like that.
No, it's just digital. And they also now have gifting. So like, let's say you got an Xbox, right? And you open it up on Christmas Day and you turn it on and sign your account, and then all of a sudden it'll say, James gifted you Cuphead, and it's just like in your account. Like I can literally buy games for you and send them to you.
That's cool.
That's actually really, really neat. But okay, Brant, we're going to continue our news section and roll into our topic of the week. So before we kick it off, I need to say,
oh no,
hit it, Brant.
Guess who's back? Back again. I'll sing this song again.
Thank you. That's oh yeah.
I forgot that
you couldn't sing like the boys are back in town or anything, fun, exciting. You just sang.
Boys
that's
are
okay.
back in town. Boys are back in town.
It's been a while, folks. Forgive us that we're still kind of like shaking the rust off a little bit and all the dust.
No doubt.
Just kind of clean ourselves
Plenty
off.
of dust in this beard.
If you are on the internet and you are a fan of video games over the last, probably since our last episode,
hopefully even
a little thing
now.
called microtransactions, something so small, has caused such a big macro controversy. And the biggest offender as of right now is a game we just talked about a little earlier, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, Brant, you had a whole thing. You said they just released a statement about this. We were actually going to talk about this earlier, and now, like literally a second before we started recording, this statement came out.
Right.
So,
directly from EA.
Now, I guess to kind of, before you read the statement, to give a little backstory, what happened was EA came out with Battlefront 2, and it's technically not out till tomorrow. We're actually recording this on a Thursday. It comes out on Friday,
you could
November
get
17th.
it Tuesday if you bought the deluxe edition.
If you bought the deluxe edition, or you had EA Access, I think were the two ways you could get it early. Yeah. But people found out that the only way you can unlock characters is, by playing like 40 hours per character to get the high levels.
Someone did research, and it came out to 40 hours you'd have to play to unlock like Luke or Darth Vader.
Right, and that's just what. So you'd be playing, if you want to get Luke and Vader, not caring about any other characters, you have to play at least 80 hours. And people kind of freaked out because another thing that people forget, a few months back, EA came out and said you can only earn experience so long. Once you play over so many hours, there's like a cap on it, and you can't earn experience for like 3 to 4 hours. So it's like they put this system in place where you have to spend money. Like you have to. And so EA came out and said, okay, we're going to back it off. We're going to turn everything down. They knocked the percentage down to 75%. So I don't know what it was, 40,000 points or whatever. And now it's like 7. Yeah. But everything EA does, there's a little caveat with that, because they knocked it down to 75%, but now you get way less experience per match you play. So I guess let's just go ahead, Brant. Go ahead and read that statement.
Okay.
Put up.
This is from General Manager at DICE, actually, Oscar Gabrielson. Yeah. Admiral Akbar cereal. Okay. As we approach the worldwide launch, it's clear that many of you feel there are still challenges in the design. We've heard the concerns about potentially giving players unfair advantages, and we've heard that this is overshadowing an otherwise great game. And in bold, this says, "This was never our intention. Sorry. We didn't get this right. We hear you loud and clear, so we are turning off all in-game purchases. We will now spend more time listening, adjusting, balancing, and tuning. This means that the option to purchase crystals in the game is now offline, so you can't even get into the menu. It just goes blank if you try to get there. And all progression will be earned through gameplay. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date, only after we've made changes to the game. We'll share more details as we work through this." And like I said, I have to read this other one that was posted by a good friend Brian Altano from IGN, because this is hilarious. And the first part's the same, but then it goes down to the bold. Nobody really knows what Dengar actually is, and we're sorry. Is he a mummy? A man? A mummy man? Is his body covered in used medical gauze? Or is it the dirty toilet paper? And what's in his backpack? Is it more medical gauze or toilet paper? Maybe he uses medical gauze as toilet paper, or vice versa. Greedo is weird too. While we're here, he has ears on the side of his head, and also more ears on top. But he couldn't hear Han Solo pulling out that gun. It was a loud bar, though. Man, I wish I could go to the Star Wars Cantina bar. It just seems so fun. So many cool animal men and a great band, Star Wars. What strange films. I just had to read it. That was great.
Dude,
I love Brant.
See, I didn't hear either of those until you read them just now. Yeah. Both were awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
Dengar weird.
Part of the reason people are so upset about this is that these characters, I mean, not only do you get to look like the character and unlock them to play as them in the game, but they have special powers, right? And so if you unlock them, you're kind of like boosted. So a lot of people are saying you could pay to win in a sense, because people that don't want to pay for the crystals, they have to play those 40, 80 hours. Well, some dude over here who wants to spend, however much money it takes him to get there, he could have these characters on the first day and just totally dominate. So
potentially, yes. Yeah.
What? At this point, I kind of looked up while you were reading those things, the Metacritic for this game, because I was just interested in, what it scored. Now, right now on Metacritic, as of, this recording, it's got a 74% for PS4 and a 72% for Xbox. I don't know why they do that.
That's not terrible.
Which isn't terrible.
That's a good score.
Right. But a lot of people are complaining, saying they don't take the microtransaction thing into account for the review score, which I don't think they should. I mean, it's kind of its own separate thing. And now they're turning them off, so I guess it's irrelevant anyway.
What's funny is the user review score is at 1.0.
Yeah, I know. People are
and that's ridiculous. That's just people coming on just to say, "Oh, EA, this flame war, don't buy this." I even haven't played the game.
And by the way, the funny thing is that originally EA went onto a Reddit account that was complaining about the game, and they made a statement. I can't remember what the statement said. I don't have it in front of me, but it was the most downvoted comment ever on Reddit. And the funny thing was, it had over 300,000 downvotes. The record before that was 25,000. So
people really hate EA, if you couldn't tell.
I guess the first question: are loot boxes a problem? Because they've been in Overwatch. No one said anything, right? But now, I mean, they're in everything, right? They're in sports games. They're in, the Star Wars game. They're in Plants vs. Zombies. It's card packs. I mean, they are everywhere.
Okay.
Are loot boxes a problem? Let me ask you that.
Loot boxes are not a problem if they're done right. And many people have said this, like Overwatch has, theirs isn't perfect even, but theirs is actually, they have a good method where it's just cosmetic and you care about those characters, so you want to try to get certain things. I wish that they changed the algorithm more, that you could actually unlock like skins you want more often than, because during the what was it, the Halloween event, I just wanted some good Halloween skins. I didn't get a single Halloween skin for all the things that I was doing.
That's crazy. I got a bunch of them.
See, I mean, it's just stuff like that. That's what I don't like about loot. But they did it the right way, I would say. And the problem is that, they see this model and they're actually making money from it. So
they're making billions of dollars.
You have to put your money where your mouth is if you don't support this practice and not buy the game. But that, like many of us, we can't do that. So what they really need to do is just, because it's been a year and a half, 2 years since this gen, it's been $60 games. That's been the set price. I think Xbox 360, it went from 50 to 60. That was the last time there was a price jump. So I think they just need to raise the AAA, your ultimate experiences, just raise it $10.
Well,
and I know a lot of people don't like that, but that will erase all this pay to win crap, microtransactions, loot boxes,
right?
stuff.
And you kind of hopped into my next topic here, which I was going to kind of hit on. Is I completely agree about that, because the problem is games are way more expensive to make now than they used to be, right? Now, if you remember on N64, GoldenEye, Mortal Kombat, certain games were like $70-$80. They were more expensive, right? But for the most part, you're right. They were $50-$60. So it hasn't changed in a very, very long time outside of, the occasional, anomaly. But with the cost of gaming going up, the cost to make games, teams are bigger, games are more epic, because gamers are very fickle people, right? We want everything. We want our cake, and we want to eat it too. We want amazing stories, we want amazing gameplay, but we do not want you to raise the price. And it's like, well, what can these developers do? Because as you know, developer doors shut all the time because they can't make their money back. And when someone like Overwatch, like Blizzard, right? They came out last year and they made like $1 billion, I think. Some outrageous number just on loot boxes, right?
Right.
And so these other companies are like, hey, this worked for them. We're going to do it too. But the problem, which Brant, I think you pulled out of your hat there, which is absolutely true, Overwatch is all cosmetic. Nothing you get in Overwatch in those loot boxes affects your gameplay at all. You get like little medallions for your name or whatever. You get currency, and you get poses, voice stuff. None of it actually affects the game. The gameplay is the same regardless of what you do.
Right.
Where what EA is doing is they've got this pay-to-win mentality. We're going to lock these characters behind a play wall,
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to waste 40 to 80 hours of your life, you can pay us, whatever, $20 or, whatever it happens to be. And so I think anytime it gives a disadvantage to hardcore players, like the newbies want to pay all this money. Now, just because they pay the money doesn't mean they're good players. They might spend all this money and still be absolutely awful. That, but
it takes a little bit of skill, I think.
Right. But the interesting balance is, what can developers do? They need the money, right? But microtransactions make people mad. They can't raise the price of their games because it'll make the gamers mad. So,
but I think the difference is people will be mad about the price hike of games, but at the same time, if you make that like a staple, you'll just get used to it again, And then if you just think about it, if you don't have to put up with microtransactions or any of this additional stuff, what's the problem with that? And games that want to use the microtransactions and loot boxes to a positive effect, like Overwatch, they can still do that, but maybe have the price of the game down, $50-$60. So yeah, like you said with Overwatch, it is all cosmetic, and those are characters you care about, which in Star Wars you care about Luke, Han, like all those people that you can play as. So I don't see why they didn't just go with that type of route, with the maybe making like a cool cosmetic change, like you can play as Han Solo, like maybe in the new movie that's come out, something that he wears in that or something. I like that. That's what they should have done, but they it's a PR mess for them now. And now,
yeah, they would have done like Vader without his helmet, or Luke and like I said, in clothes from The Last Jedi. Like they would have done something like that. People would have been like, that is awesome.
I'll pay for that.
Right. And so that's a little bit different. But I guess the question now is it too late for Battlefront 2? Is the bad press already out there?
Because it's already out there, but
even in major news stories like CNN and all these places covered it because of all the death threats that were going out to EA developers.
It's insane. If you're a scum of the earth, if you send death threats to people, no matter what. But yeah, like you said, it's it's the damage has been dealt, but it seems like they're actually responding to it. Like you can't even buy them anymore. It seems like they're going to completely redo everything, which the one game launches officially tomorrow. So right. I don't know how that's going to affect all of us that are looking to get into that, you know?
And that's the other thing, like you mentioned. It's not out till tomorrow. Right?
Systems, yeah.
Most people haven't even played it yet. What do you think would have happened if EA said nothing, kept it the same? Do you think a week or two down the road people will still be talking about it? Because a lot of times this stuff, it blows up. When it blows up big.
Oh, yeah.
But then it disappears. It dissipates pretty fast in the gaming world because people always move on. You know,
that's,
boom, boom,
No
boom,
Man's
boom.
Sky is a perfect example. Another mess.
Right.
And they actually, I play that game, which I haven't recently, but they actually fulfilled some of their promises. It just came way later. But like you said, the damage will never go away.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's Take-Two. You know, EA's already hated, so I don't think there's not much else they can do.
So even if they take the time to fix it, you think that people are already turned off by this game, they're just going to say no. They're just going to let it go. Is the life of this game already done?
Well, it's Star Wars, so I don't think it's already done. People will still buy this even if they hate it, I think. So
and the other
they'll be fine. But.
Yeah, I was going to say, the other thing we have to remember is that we are in a gaming bubble. Right, we listen to IGN, we listen to Kind of Funny, we read Game Informer and listen to Game Pro and all these things. We know what's going on. The average mom and dad who knows, little Jimmy likes Star Wars, they're gonna buy him the new Star Wars game for Christmas. They don't care about any of this microtransaction stuff. And honestly,
yeah,
kids aren't gonna notice either.
You know? I mean, they'll get to, like I said, they might not even know about microtransaction, but now you can't do anything about it until they patch something in there.
They're going to be shut off anyway. Yeah. So
they're working on something. I don't know what it is now, but
I
wonder how it's going to affect the game.
Right. And I wonder because, being adults now, we're looking at financially like, oh, this is terrible. This is why they're ripping all these people off. And as a kid, like thinking like when I was younger, I probably wouldn't even notice. I wouldn't even care because although, with the world of the internet, things blow up a little bit faster. But as a kid, you'd play all these junky games. You wouldn't know. You would still love it. You have great memories of these terrible games.
Yeah. As Yoda once said in the terrible prequel trilogy, what was I going to say? Great forgot. I already forgot. Truly great, the mind of a child, or something like that. Because Eli, he's going to love playing Battlefront 2, no matter what's there. And I'm going to enjoy playing it there with him. So it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to enjoy the game. And I'm just going to throw this out there, too. I think people just get too whiny and complain too much. And I sort of just wish now that EA just stuck to their guns and just said, screw you guys. Like, honest, I don't like this entitled nature of people in general. So I, just say, hey, whatever.
And
You'll
honestly,
still buy the game.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I kind of felt the same way just for the fact that I'm like, just with how quickly the tides turn in video games. Because the game isn't even out yet. They didn't give the average consumer like the time to breathe and check out the game and see what it is and see how it works. And they didn't do any of that. And now
people saying like, "Hey, we won. We changed their policy." Like,
but here's the problem with that: they've already changed it twice now, and they completely shut it off. So it's like, no matter what they do, doesn't matter. Months and months and months down the road, or however long it takes them to fix this, no matter what they do, it's never going to be good enough. And this game's got a black mark on it. I mean, there's literally nothing they can do. People spent years working on this game, putting their hearts and souls into it, right? And as a business, they need to make money. And they went about it the wrong way. I'm not saying, forcing you, because they did, they figured out the math, saying, we want you to play just long enough to get just enough experience that you have to spend money. Like that, they pretty much came out and said, no, that is a terrible way to run a business. I'm not saying it's right. But at the same time, like you said, Brant, a lot of times as gamers, we're very demanding. And we're never satisfied.
Yeah, to say the least.
Okay, to tie off this conversation, kind of tie up this episode, going forward, honestly, I don't think loot boxes are going away. I think loot boxes are a thing now. They started on mobile phones and free-to-play games and stuff. But I think
Borderlands 3
loot boxes, absolutely. They are here to stay. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from loot boxes going forward?
I want to see the Overwatch model, pretty much. I think and that's a multiplayer game, so you got to think single player too. But just make it so it doesn't give anybody advantage, It's just something that you want to spend money because you care about these characters and like to see them in different outfits and different poses, whatever. Different weapon. I mean, yeah, customizable weapons maybe that look different, cool. I mean, stuff like that I don't see a problem with. But
cool.
Yeah, just don't give people advantage.
Right. I completely agree. Once it gives someone an unfair advantage, they've crossed the line. I agree. Now, I will say if it, let's just say it would have been cosmetic and people were still complaining, I'd be like, that's dumb. That, it's cosmetic. It doesn't affect anything. So as long as it's cosmetic, it's fine. Although I will say the first thing I thought of when I saw this huge controversy going on about loot boxes, I was thinking, what do you mean? I have to actually play the game I bought to enjoy it? Oh, no. Like, that's what I thought. I was like, I have to put 40 hours into this game I bought? What is this?
I'll easily spend that much.
So, dude, I mean, it all comes down to each gamer, right? Everybody's different. Now, I will say for people like you and I, a lot less free time. 40 hours is a lot of time. It really, really is.
Like I said, Eli will probably unlock all that stuff in the first day.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like younger people, more free time. People in college, more free time. They're going to knock that stuff out. No problem. So, okay. With that, the Life of Gaming stand on loot boxes, cosmetic only. No unfair advantages. Keep it that way. That'd be awesome. Because honestly, I've got no problem with the developer wanting to make their money back because video games are expensive. And with us, not us as gamers as a whole, not aligning to raise the prices, I'm fine with the loot box model. No problem.
Yeah.
And
me too.
One thing I totally forgot to mention in our news section, I'm just going to throw it out there. We won't really talk about it. Marvel Heroes. Disney shut them down. Next episode, we're going to have to talk about that because that's a fun game, and like they closed up shop.
That's another those toys to life and games like this.
Games,
they're not sustainable.
That's the problem with games as service. This will be a whole other topic for another episode. But games as service, once those servers are shut down, it's literally useless. You paid for something that no longer works. But okay, that's another topic for another day. But we hope you guys enjoyed the return of the Life
glorious
episode 82, the loot box episode. But guys, if you want to find us, as I mentioned before, look up the Life of Gaming. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter at Life of Gaming Pod. You can also find us on Twitch at Life of Gaming. Actually, recently I've been streaming a lot on there. My Cuphead runs, like I've been talking about, playing a lot of Cuphead. Been doing that on there. As for myself,
actually helped you out once on it.
Yes, you did. But you can find me pretty much everywhere. Xbox, PlayStation, Twitch, Mixer, everything. Jamester0722. And Mr. Brant, where can people find you?
You can find me at minus the Brant, MINUS.
You forgot your tag.
MINUSTHEBRANT. That's at Twitter. That's my name on PSN. And
someday
we're like I said, we're rusty, so we probably messed up a few things in this episode. So I want to give a shout out to our good friend Michael Ratliff, who always is there to correct us, and
Absolutely.
We're very appreciative of that.
It.
And to anybody else, so
hit us up. Now, actually, one thing we're going to ask you guys, if you'd be interested. Right now, we just have the Life of Gaming Facebook page. We post all our, reviews we do. We post videos up there. We post podcasts up there. but do you guys want an actual Life of Gaming community? Because there's a lot of community pages out there, but, to have more interaction with Brant and I, polls, all that stuff, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on our main Facebook page. We want to know what you guys want, because one thing we've always done, we want you guys to enjoy the show. So we want you guys to be more interactive on the show. So hit us up there. But it's been a nice episode. So hopefully you enjoyed it.
So nice to be back.
So let your friends know, guys, and don't forget, go on iTunes, go on Google Play Store, rate us. We would love it. But until next time, which hopefully will be sooner than 4 months,
we a few months out.
Are out.
Bye.